Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Jack, and welcome back to another video. So it's been quite a minute since I made another video, haven't I? Well, it's I'm just waiting for things to come around with Call of Duty to see what else comes up, and I'm just sitting back, relaxing. Well, in terms of Call of Duty and content creation, actually, I'm just sitting back, relaxing, and kind of watching some of the other content creators and see what they're making and see what their speculation is, and browsing Twitter and all over YouTube and the internet whenever I have time to do that. That is, and basically seeing how everybody is pretty much reacted. And for the longest time, for like over the last week, it's like man, it's like I knew, it's like I would make a video if I knew what I wanted to talk about. But then all of a sudden it became clear. I got a little bit of sleep, not much, not nearly as much as I should have, but I got a little bit of sleep and I was able to think a little bit more clearly, and lo and behold, I have an idea for today's video, and it's really simple, and it's really to kind of help keep everybody in check, because it seems that everybody, especially now since the official Call of Duty social media account has gone dark or gone black or whatever you want to call it now, since the reveal is practically like days, if not hours away from finally becoming a thing. Everybody seems to be really hyped, and everybody is basically a lot of Call of Duty content creators, some more than others, are creating videos talking about the speculation left and right, possible rumors, possible outcomes of what could happen with Call of Duty. Everything from, oh, this game, Call of Duty 2019, could be free to play, or we might have cross-platform play through the cloud or something like that. Xbox and Sony coming together. Oh, and by the way, speaking of Xbox and Sony, like the footage you're watching here is Xbox One, right? Well, as of last week, I got this game for PlayStation 4 as well, because I also wanted to see if this game played even better on PS4 than it does on Xbox. And I must say that yes, it does, specifically in the hit detection ranges. Now, in terms of, in case some of you guys are wondering, oh, PlayStation 4 have easier players to play against, that is both true and not true. So therefore, overall, it's not really that true. There are easy players to play on both sides of the spectrum, as well as tryhards. So the only thing I will say, though, is other than the fact that the hit detection is so much more responsive the way it should be, and it's smooth, I would have to say, other than that, I would say that the skill gap is relatively the same. But the thing is, like, you guys know that when you put a suppressor on the weapon, how there's like a slight delay in the hit detection because you put a suppressor on, and that's how kind of it works. Well, it's kind of like that with the hit detection on Xbox compared to PlayStation, and it really breaks my heart that one console plays better than the other, but I guess it's been a thing ever since the beginning. I guess during the 360 days, Call of Duty always played better on Xbox than it did on PlayStation back then. Hopefully in the future that'll change, especially if these rumors about cross-platform play might be true through the cloud or something like that, or Sony and Xbox finally kind of getting along and joining forces in that aspect. I mean, I don't know. It could all be bullshit at this point. But in terms of keeping everybody in check, like I mentioned in the very beginning of this video, what I wanted to tell you is that, listen, we have to remember everything that happened with Black Ops 4, right? And with everything that happens year after year consistently. You know, we can forgive, but we can't forget, right? Because if we forget, and if we keep falling for the same bullshit trap over and over and over again, this cycle of incomplete content and Call of Duty bullshit is never going to stop. And the thing is this: even if a version of the game is going to be free to play, of COD 2019, Modern Warfare, or Modern Warfare 4, whatever the hell the name is going to be called, right? Remember, their definition of free to play is going to be different than our definition of free to play. Don't you guys remember that before Black Ops 4 came out, that it was said that Black Ops 4 was going to have more free content than any other Call of Duty to date? Well, their version of what content is and what our version of content is, what our definition of what content really is completely different. And all of a sudden, when you mix business practices and all that kind of bullshit, well, it just goes to show you that just because something is free doesn't necessarily mean that it really is something. You know what I mean? So, and remember, even if, let's just say if they actually made this game free to play, let's say if COD 2019 was 100% free to play, don't you guys think that they would have a way of making us spend more money on the game as opposed to we would normally do? Like, at this point right now, obviously the smarter Call of Duty players, right? Well, yeah. Okay, let's just say the Call of Duty players that don't fall for the trap very easily, right? Won't spend a dime beyond the $60 that the game is worth, right? And some will even argue that the games nowadays are not even worth 60. But anyway, they won't spend a dime beyond that. They won't spend it on special editions. They won't spend it on supply drops and yada, yada, yada. Now, if the next game were to be free to play and nobody had to pay jack shit, right? Don't you think that the developers as well as Activision, or maybe just Activision because they handle the dollars, right? Because according to Vaughn, he just makes the shoes, right? What? Yeah, right. But anyway, let's just go back to the topic here. Don't you guys think that they would devise a very smart plan? Because that's what these guys specialize in, right? Don't you guys think that these guys would devise a very smart plan to making us pay more? So let's say the game was free to play, and then all of a sudden, in order to have access to this, which is what everybody should have access to in the first place, right? You're going to have to pay an X amount, right? And then the next thing you know, by the time the life cycle of the game is over, you would have spent at least twice as much, if not, or more. Or let's say even if it was more than $60 than what you would have paid originally for just the release of the game, for the base game. So don't you think that they would devise a way to make the base game itself more expensive in the long run? So they'll nickel and dime you throughout the whole year. They'll make it appeasing, right? They'll nickel and dime you. And then at the end of the year, you would have spent more than just your bare $60 for the game. So, I mean, this is what these guys do. So I'm just giving you an example here. And I'm pretty sure that if they do devise something like this, that it could go very well go beyond what I'm just mentioning here. But I just wanted to give you a very example. And I'm not a genius. I'm not a smart, a smart genius person. I mean, I've got some common sense, but I could also be very stupid at the same time. I've got no problem mentioning that I could be smart at times, and then I could be extremely fucking stupid as well. But the thing is, I'm nothing special when it comes to brains. My IQ is not above average. At least I don't think it is. I haven't really had a test either. But the thing is this, that's just a very small example. Now with these guys that basically are in charge of the whole finances and basically planning all this shit out, I can pretty much guarantee you that like everything and all possibilities are in the works. And let's not forget about the fact that it's already been confirmed pretty much that Black Ops 4 was pretty much a test dummy as to, or a stress test, so to speak, of just how much bullshit these guys can get away with before we start retaliating to a point like, hey, you guys need to straighten the fuck up. You know what I mean? So, again, it's a very easy and simple way for them to ruin an entire game while simultaneously pickpocketing us. And also, there's also going to be those other people out there that are going to think, hey, you know, this is great. This is great. I spent twice as much money, but hey, I'm happy. It's like, dude, we used to be happy spending just $60 on the game, and we would be happy for the whole year. But then all of a sudden our $60, our base $60 isn't valued the same anymore, and we have to be pickpocketed. So anyway, that's where my mind is going. So remember, their version or their definition of free to play and content has already been proven to be different than our definition. So in other words, what I'm trying to say is let's keep our eye on the ball here. Just because we're hyped about this next game, just like everybody else, you know, Call of Duty fans will always be hyped, and they'll always pray for a really good Call of Duty. It's kind of what makes Call of Duty Call of Duty. It's like, come on, let's finally get a good one here. But remember, when corporate interest in art, I mean, they don't always meet eye to eye very well. I mean, why do you think Sledgehammer Games and Raven don't get along very well? Why do you think some people left and went back to Condry and he's working for 2 games? What do you think all this shit happens? Don't you think that some of these game developers that have no say in the business decisions whatsoever, don't you guys think that these guys have a soul and they feel bad that the fact that the community is being taken advantage of? So anyway, guys, that's all I got for this one. Let me know down in the comment section what you think. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, let me know. And if you didn't, let me know what I could do to make my videos better. I'll catch you guys on the next one.